everyone. Welcome back to this Halloween Horror Fest Marathon. Let's continue it with this time a top 5 list. Yep, count it, 5. This time, we're getting our whips, our holy crosses, holy water, and so forth. We'll take out old Dracula and monsters. That's right, it's the top 5 list of what I think the best Castlevania games are. And as I said, just my opinion, people. No need to nail a dagger in a coffin. Especially on me, that is. Because this is just my opinion of what I think the best Castlevania games are. So, let's get to the vampire and mummy and monster killing. Starting with number 5. Castlevania Lords of Shadow on, well, any console. The PS3 or Xbox 360. Whatever console it's available on. The first one, that is. And yeah, I know. Castlevania games have not exactly made the smoothest transition into 3D if you're talking about the N64 games because, well, that was during the era when, well, most game series were trying to make that transition into 3D. Some games like Mario 64, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, did it pretty well, or nearly perfectly, I should say, and others like Mega Man and, well, this game, of course, franchise, didn't exactly do it too smoothly. So, yeah, I didn't really know what to expect when this one was announced, but actually this one was pretty good. Now, of course, it's at number 5 for a reason, the lowest part of this list, because I did review this one a couple years back, and I know the AVGN did as well, and I can agree. It's not perfect, but it's so beautiful to look at. The, narration from Patrick Stewart is really good. And yeah, it can actually be pretty enjoyable. It's got some really interesting puzzle solving, which I'm not 100% great at. I mean, there's a lot of, needless running around, and I know slaying enemies and using your whip, which is the real iconic part of this game franchise. But in this game, it just gets really monotonous and rather repetitive, especially having to do with the same enemies that keep respawning. And I know it's kind of annoying, there's no music, and the sound effects are good, but for the most part, some parts do get a little annoying, and the camera is occasionally iffy, and climbing around and so forth, getting through the swamps, but I'd say it has a lot of variety, and it's actually pretty enjoyable for the most part. I managed to beat it through this whole game, and I actually liked it. Even though, of course, you should probably know, it doesn't feel like a real Castlevania game, but neither did the N64 one, and that had a ton of more problems. I mean, come on. This one at least tried, so with a few sacrifices, you know what? You can take out the vampire as well. But just a real shame the sequel, Lords of Shadow 2, couldn't hold up as well. But, well, let's not get too carried away. Give this one a try. If you don't like it, that's fine. That's why it's this low in the list. Number 4. Castlevania Rondo of Blood. Okay, well, this is exceptional because I know originally this was not released in the United States. It was released on the TurboGrafx CD engine, which, well, was not a United States, game. But eventually it did get ported, or more or less butchered, on the Super Nintendo after Castlevania 4 on the Super Nintendo, but it didn't really live up to what it should have. It wasn't a worthy successor, and, well, yeah, it just didn't do it for us. So it wasn't a real version of this game. But this one eventually did get released on the PSP under Dracula X Chronicles, which was an updated version, but of course you can unlock it and play it. And wow, it's really enjoyable, but god damn is it hard. But a lot of great variety, a lot of great things to do in this game, all the familiar weapons, the music is great, the cutscenes are awesome, and the Super Nintendo butchered port does have some great visuals and stuff to it as well, a lot of great music, but no, screw that. Stick with the PSP version, because you can play it on the go, it's probably the best way to go, or you can download it and play it on the Wii Virtual, or Wii U Virtual Console, in fact. And yeah, the actual Japanese title from the original TurboGrafx CD engine. Not bad at all, I gotta say. Yeah, go with that one, that's the real deal. Don't even bother with the Super Nintendo version, unless you're looking to just frustrate yourself to live in hell, or, well, challenge yourself for that matter. Because, yeah, these games are notable for being hard, but this is the real one. Stick with the real Japanese ones. As Marty would say, all the best stuff is made in Japan, right? Number 3, Castlevania. The first one, of course, on NES. Yeah, we gotta give credit to the one that started it all, right? And I know, you're probably wondering, what? With all the sequels and, other ones that improved over this one, why would you bother? Come on, it's the one that started it all, and I know. Obviously, the knockbacks, which this is a problem that plagued this entire series, and pretty much continues to do so, at least in the 2D side-scrolling series. And yeah, and this one is no exception either. And I know, stiff choppy controls and lack of password system, but it's still challenging, and if you want to challenge yourself, or better yet, frustrate yourself to that matter, then go for it. Otherwise, yeah, it's fascinating to see where it all started. I mean, I know, compared to what we have today, it's nothing really spectacular, but it's like playing the first Super Mario Brothers. It doesn't look like much now, but back then, it was amazing for its time. All the different boss fights, enemies, and yeah, as I said, it's very challenging, very frustrating. I know I'm going to say this a lot this entire video, but otherwise, yep, gotta give credit to the one that started it all. Number 2, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Well, wait, you're probably wondering, what? Why isn't this number 1, right? Isn't this the best Castlevania game ever made? No, people, this is just my opinion, as I said at the beginning of this video, so if you don't agree with me, I respect that, but be grateful this is even on the list, and this low on the list to be exact. So, yep, I still think it's a great game, but as I said, it's not the best, but it is great. And yeah, it was just one of the many reasons to own a PlayStation 1 over an N64, because as I said before, the N64 didn't do it with the Castlevania games the right way, but the PlayStation pretty much, yeah, it pretty much kicked the Nintendo 64's ass right here. So, yeah, I know, it's a 2D side-scroller, and yes, it definitely deviates a little bit from what Castlevania stood for, because it goes for more of that Metroid feel to it, being that, it's a whole big castle that you have to explore, get experience points, do boss fights, and get save points. Yes, there's the flaw with when you die, you have to reload the game, and all that crap, which takes, well, it's very tedious to say the least, and having to reload your game and all that crap, but yeah, it's a lot to explore, and then you gotta do it all in reverse, so it's a lot, but I'd say it's really enjoyable. Yeah, the sound effects are pretty cool, and some are a little cheesy, but for the most part, it does great. It's a great game, and hell, you can even get it as a bonus unlockable if you get Castlevania Dracula X on PSP, getting back to that, or you can just download it on pretty much, well, on the PlayStation 4, or one of these consoles for that matter. But it's a great game, but obviously, as I said, not the best, just my opinion, people, but it's a nice lengthy adventure throughout Dracula's castle. Definitely check it out if you got the shot. Alright, and the number 1 best Castlevania game, in my opinion, people, this is just my opinion, don't go apeshit if you don't agree with me on this one, but I'm sure all of you can agree. Number 1 best Castlevania game, Super Castlevania 4. Oh yeah, I mean, come on, who doesn't agree with me that this is a great game? And I know the AVGN has already agreed that this is his all-time favorite, and this was my all-time favorite too as well. I mean, this was a Castlevania game that all of us wanted, and the word super doesn't lie. I mean, what more can you say? I mean, being the first one in 16-bit, they took advantage of these graphics so well. I mean, the cutscenes were awesome at the beginning. I mean, the music was fantastic. It's basically, obviously, as you know, as the AVGN said, a remake, and it takes all 3 of the games from the NES and mixes and matches them and updates them as well, with superior music, level designs, which are always different. I mean, not only you go outside and inside the castle, and you go outside again, in graveyards, all these different enemies, which some could be annoying, and I know you still got the knockbacks and so forth, but damn, they really went above and beyond. The background effects look awesome. I mean, it's just superb. It makes the NES games look like crap. I mean, this was what you call Castlevania perfected. Almost, at least. I mean, not to mention being able to whip in 8 different directions and, move your whip around like that a little bit, which doesn't do a lot of damage, but still, and the controls are nearly perfected. No more stiff, choppy controls, and you get more of a fair gameplay challenge out of this. The boss fights are, well, challenging, but still fun. I mean, what more do I have to say? It's Super Castlevania, and it's super awesome. That's right. So, I guess you could say, 4th time's a charm, and don't forget the password system is in here as well. So, that makes it a number 1 reason to buy this game. Hell, you can even buy it on Virtual Console for the Wii, the Wii U, and even on 3DS. Well, only the new ones, the XL and, the new ones. It just sucks, though, I'm not able to download this on my original 3DS. I mean, why not? It's complete utter bullshit. You can get Sega Genesis games, which are 16-bit on the 3DS. I want to be able to take this on the go with my original 3DS, the first one that came out. Don't understand that, Nintendo. I mean, why'd you have to get so freaking greedy? But I do have it on my virtual console, and it's still awesome. I still love playing it, especially around this time of the year. I mean, that's how you do Castlevania the right way. So, till next time, people, happy Halloween. Keep watching.